Alright, we've pressed the crank up and I'm just, it's pretty good. I'm just giving it just a little bit of a tap to knock it back before I put it on the stand to true it up. So this actual dial indicator is metric. So that's reading 0.04 of a millimetre, which is a bit under 2 thou. So I'm happy with that. So this is the pressed up crank. We've had to replace the whole lot. So next thing is I'll change out the little end bush, drill that out, get ready to ream that when I get the barrel and piston back so I can gauge it with a gauging pin. Fully refurbished crank. Alright, what you have here, this is a Gucci little puller that I've made up myself. Just to pull the little end bushes out. And to actually put them in as well. I mean, you can use your new bush. I prefer not to. So yeah, that'll just pull that bush straight out and it'll punch the other one straight in. That's how it works, just tighten it up. Alright, just drilling your lubrication holes in your little end bush before I actually ream it out. Always important to drill out your bushes before you ream them. Now, this conrod doesn't have lubrication holes in the back. Well, yes it does. I didn't see that. Righto. So you just got to be a little bit careful, making sure you're all lined up with that hole, because you can easily snap your drill bit. So I've just gone through and I've filed up all the edges on the clutch baskets, removed all those burrs and take the scalloping out to give that nice clean surface for the clutch plates to ride on. Alright, next job to do is replace the main shaft bushes. So you can see on the top hat there, just where my thumbnail is, I hope you can pick it up, there's a little groove there, that always faces upwards. So what I'm going to do is obviously heat these cases up. I've got a little arbor that fits in there so I can press these in nice and neatly and nice and square. So I'll go over the press and I'll get those done, and then I'll show you what to do once you've actually got them in. Alright, we've got our lay shaft bushes pressed in, and I have already reamed them, and I reamed one side, it was tightish, and then the other side I've just given it a bit of a scrape. But the reason I do it now is that so you can actually reach in with your finger and actually spin it and feel how tight it is. It does have a tiny bit of end play. Where are we? Which I think is pretty good. I'm happy with that. If you put them together and when it's tight, I actually tap that down, take a measurement with a vernier caliper, see how deep it is, go around the other side, tap it back, and then take another measurement just to verify that I've actually got end float. Because I have had some bushes, I don't know where they came from, and they were a bit thick on the flange on the inside, and it was actually, as you tighten up the cases, it was jamming up. Really important also to ensure that when you're doing this job that you have your crankcase dowels in to align your crank. So, yep, that is done. I've done that with a reamer and a scraper. Next thing back together is all our clutch mechanism. Obviously grease this all up inside before you reassemble it. All I've got to do now is just drop the the grease nipple in there, but that's all Oz Bantams components there, cover and the screw and everything, so it's looking good. Alright, we're up to the part where we're cleaning threads out. I always run these are 1/4 inch BSW threads, so I don't go put metric or anything else in there. So I usually find you get a fair bit of crap out of these. I mean, look at that. And so what you're effectively doing if you don't clean it out is that when you put your bolt in, your screw, you're pushing it all the way down to the bottom. So that will pack up in there, and your screw's trying to compress it and you're not getting a proper torque on your thread. You know, like, well, this engine's 57, so what is it, 60 plus years old. So just the little things, just to, and like this has obviously got, this hole here has obviously got a heap of crap in it because I can feel the drag on it. So they're just the little things to help you do a real quality engine rebuild. Now look at the amount of crap on that in every flute. Look, and that's not from the vapor blast, and that's greasy gunge and shit. So I'll blow these out obviously with an airline as well. So I'm on to changing out the gear selector shaft, and you can see someone's tried to scotch key it and it is completely mullered. But interestingly enough, I showed you this earlier on in the video, someone tried to weld that up, and that's the reason why. You couldn't move it because it had the gear selector spring tension on it, but that's stuffed, so we'll be changing that out. Okay, we've got a new selector fork out of second-hand stock. Now this is this is a little ring that goes around here and locates into the back of your selector fork when you put your shaft in. If you're having trouble fitting that, have a look to make sure that the groove is actually wide enough for the clip. There's my phone going. So just have a look and see if that clip will actually go all the way into the bottom of the groove, because I've seen a lot of these, for some reason they come out and they're too narrow and the clip won't fit in. So I've actually got to put this on a lathe, give it a skim off the side of the groove so that clip will go all the way in. Just something to remember. Alright, I've just fitted up the new gear selector spring, and I've made this little compressor up myself. So what I can do, that's to get this spring clip back in. So that just squeezes up your gear selector spring so you can fit this clip in. Just some of the little gadgets and gadgets that I've got. That was my drift for the crankcase dowels. So yeah, I've got a few little tools that I've made up just to make some jobs a bit easier.